That nighttime annoyance. The clock strikes 2, then 3, then 4, and each time, the same urgent and frustrating trip to the bathroom. The feeling that your bladder never fully empties, the stream that no longer has the strength it once did. If you're a man over 50, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. This isn't just a minor inconvenience. It's a thief of your quality of life, your sleep, and your peace of mind. And what if I told you there's a simple, science-based strategy that can help combat this problem? Something as accessible as adding a single walnut to your daily routine. Yes, you heard that right. The promise of shrink your prostate with 1 walnut a day isn't a marketing gimmick, but the tip of an iceberg of scientific knowledge that many men are unaware of. And it's in this unawareness that danger lies. Because while the potential of a food like the walnut is fascinating, there's a fatal mistake that 90% of men our age make when trying natural solutions like this. A mistake that can negate all benefits and, in some cases, even mask more serious problems. In this video, we'll not only explore the incredible power hidden within the shell of a walnut, but we'll, once and for all, expose this critical mistake so you can avoid it. If you've ever woken up in the middle of the night because of your prostate, leave an I in the comments so other men can see they're not alone on this journey. The first step to solving a problem is understanding it deeply, and that's where we'll begin. To understand how a walnut can have any effect on those nighttime trips to the bathroom, we first need to name our adversary, benign prostatic hyperplasia, or BPH. The name may sound complicated, but the concept is quite simple. Imagine your urethra, the tube that carries urine from the bladder out, is like a straw. Now imagine the prostate is an orange surrounding the base of that straw. In youth, this orange is normal-sized, allowing fluid to pass freely. As the years go by, due to a variety of factors, mainly hormonal, this orange begins to grow. This is hyperplasia. The word benign is crucial here, as it means this growth is not cancerous. However, even though it's not cancer, the growth compresses the straw. The result? Urine flow decreases, the bladder has to work harder to empty, and often can't do the complete job, leading to that feeling of incomplete emptying, and the need to urinate again shortly after. The main culprit behind this growth is a hormone called dihydrotestosterone, or DHT. Think of it as a super potent version of testosterone that stimulates prostate cell growth. With age, hormonal balance shifts, and the conversion of testosterone to DHT can become more pronounced, fueling gland growth. It's a natural process, but one that drastically affects the lives of millions of men. Understanding this mechanism is key. We are not fighting an invisible enemy, but a clear biological process. A glandular growth stimulated by a specific hormone. And it's by knowing the enemy that we can begin to devise a strategy. If BPH is a matter of growth and inflammation, the solution must involve compounds that can act on these two fronts. And this is where the humble walnut begins to reveal its scientific arsenal, with secrets that nature took millennia to perfect. When we open a walnut, we're not just looking at a tasty snack. We're looking at a small natural pharmacy, packed with bioactive compounds with impressive therapeutic potential. The first and perhaps most famous component is its high content of omega-3 fatty acids, specifically alpha-linolenic acid, ALA. Omega-3 is universally known for its potent anti-inflammatory properties. Low-grade chronic inflammation is one of the silent drivers of many age-related diseases, and prostate health is no exception. Prostate growth in BPH is often accompanied by an inflammatory state in the glandular tissue. Think of inflammation as a constant, smoldering fire that irritates and swells the tissue. Omega-3 fatty acids act like the body's firefighters, helping to put out this fire. They do this by modulating the biochemical pathways that produce pro-inflammatory molecules like prostaglandins and leukotrienes. By reducing inflammation in the prostate tissue, omega-3 can help alleviate some of the swelling that compresses the urethra, contributing to an improvement in urinary symptoms. But the walnut's arsenal doesn't stop there. They are packed with antioxidants, such as polyphenols and vitamin E. Our bodies are in a constant battle against oxidative stress, a process caused by unstable molecules called free radicals. Think of it as the rust of our cells. This cellular damage contributes to aging and the development of various conditions, including BPH. The antioxidants present in walnuts act like a protective shield for prostate cells. They neutralize free radicals before they can cause damage, protecting cellular integrity and helping to maintain a healthier prostate environment. The combination of a powerful anti-inflammatory with an army of antioxidants would already be enough to justify including walnuts in your diet. However, there's an even more specific and targeted component that addresses the root of the hormonal problem we discussed. Remember DHT, that super potent hormone that stimulates prostate growth? This is where the walnut reveals its most clever trick. Walnuts contain plant compounds called phytosterols, with beta-sitosterol being one of the most prominent and studied. Beta-sitosterol has a molecular structure very similar to cholesterol, which allows it to interact with various biological pathways in our body. One of its notable actions, and one of extreme interest for prostate health, is its ability to inhibit the activity of an enzyme called 5-alpha reductase. This is the enzyme responsible for converting normal testosterone into DHT. By interfering with the action of 5-alpha reductase, beta-sitosterol helps reduce DHT levels in prostate tissue. Less DHT means less stimulation for cell growth, attacking the hormonal cause of the problem at its root. Interestingly, some prescription medications for BPH, like finasteride, work on the exact same principle, inhibiting the 5-alpha reductase enzyme. The walnut offers a natural, dietary version of this mechanism. Beyond phytosterols, walnuts are an excellent source of essential minerals for male health. Zinc, for example, is found in high concentrations in the prostate and is vital for its normal functioning. Adequate zinc levels also help inhibit 5-alpha reductase. Selenium is another crucial mineral, a precursor to glutathione peroxidase, one of the most potent antioxidant enzymes in our body, which protects prostate cells from oxidative damage. Therefore, what we have in a walnut is a perfect synergy. Omega-3 combats inflammation, antioxidants protect cells, and phytosterols and minerals work together to modulate the hormonal pathway that causes gland growth. All of this sounds very promising on paper, but what does science actually say about putting it into practice? Are there studies that prove these effects in men like us? The transition from biochemical theory to clinical evidence is the most important step in validating any health claim. And when it comes to walnuts and prostate health, science has given us very encouraging clues, though it's crucial to maintain honesty and perspective. Several animal studies, which are often precursors to human studies, have shown positive results. For example, research published in journals like the Journal of Medicinal Food demonstrated that laboratory rats fed a diet enriched with walnuts showed significantly slower growth of prostate tumors compared to those on a standard diet. While this refers to prostate cancer, the underlying mechanism, which involves modulating genes related to inflammation and cell growth, has direct relevance to BPH. Regarding human studies, much of the evidence comes from large-scale observational studies. These studies follow thousands of men over many years and analyze the correlation between their dietary habits and their health. Consistently research like that from the Physician's Health Study and the Health Professionals Follow-Up Study has found associations between higher walnut consumption and a lower risk of developing aggressive forms of prostate disease, as well as better overall health markers. This is where we need to be transparent. Correlation is not causation. These studies cannot prove that it was walnuts that caused the improvement, only that men who ate walnuts tended to be healthier. However, when we combine these large-scale observations with the plausible biological mechanisms we've already discussed, the anti-inflammatory, antioxidant, and hormonal actions, the hypothesis becomes very strong. If you're finding this information helpful and transparent, please click the like button. This signals to YouTube that this is valuable content and helps get it to more men who need to hear this message. That said, science is still evolving, and large randomized controlled trials that isolate the effect of one walnut a day on reversing BPH are still lacking. Therefore, we cannot call walnuts a cure. But we can, with scientific confidence, call them a powerful, supportive, functional food. So, knowing there's a promising scientific basis, how can we incorporate this into our lives most effectively and safely? Can we just grab any walnut off the shelf? Practical implementation is where theory meets reality, and details make all the difference. The phrase, "one walnut a day," is a powerful hook and an excellent starting point for building a habit. But most nutritional studies work with a standard serving size, which is usually around 30 grams per day. This equates to a small handful, or approximately 7 whole walnuts. The quality and type of walnut you consume are absolutely crucial. To get the most benefits, you should look for raw, unsalted, and unsweetened walnuts. The reason for this is simple. Salty walnuts, while tasty, can contribute to increased blood pressure. A common problem in the over 50 age group that you definitely don't want to add to your list of concerns. Roasted or fried walnuts, on the other hand, can have their delicate omega-3 fatty acids damaged by excessive heat, a process called oxidation, which can negate some of their anti-inflammatory benefits. And candied or chocolate-covered walnuts add sugar, which is a known pro-inflammatory agent, making it like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. The ideal way to consume them is as natural as possible. You can eat them as a snack between meals, which also helps stabilize blood sugar levels and maintain satiety. Another excellent way is to add them to your breakfast, either chopped over yogurt, oatmeal, or blended into a smoothie. They also add a delicious crunch and a nutritional boost to salads at lunch or dinner. It's important to keep allergies in mind. If you have a history of nut allergies, this strategy is obviously not for you. Furthermore, walnuts are calorie-dense, so moderation is key. Replacing a less healthy snack with a handful of walnuts is the ideal approach, rather than simply adding them to an already calorie-rich diet. And it's precisely here, in the implementation, that 90% of men make the fatal mistake we mentioned at the beginning. They hear, "Eat 1 walnut a day," rush to the supermarket, buy a bag, and think they've found the magic pill, the single definitive solution to their prostate problems. And this mindset is the biggest misconception of all. The fatal mistake, the deception that sabotages countless men's efforts, is what I call nutritional isolationism. It's the dangerous belief that a single superfood, a single pill, or a single hack can, on its own, solve a complex, multifactorial health problem like benign prostatic hyperplasia. The walnut is not a silver bullet. It's an elite soldier, extremely well-trained and effective, but a soldier needs an army and a strategy to win the war. The fatal mistake is sending this soldier into battle alone, while the rest of your lifestyle continues to feed the enemy. What's the point of consuming a handful of anti-inflammatory walnuts in the morning if the rest of your day is filled with ultra-processed foods, sugary sodas, trans fats, and an excess of red meat, all of which are known to promote systemic inflammation in the body? It would be like trying to dry the floor with a towel while a broken pipe continues to gush water. The walnut works best when it's part of a health ecosystem. Its power is amplified by an overall anti-inflammatory environment. The real mistake isn't in the walnut, but in the expectation we place on it. The man who makes this mistake seeks a passive solution, something he can simply add to his routine without changing anything else. But health doesn't work that way. It's the result of a set of consistent actions. And the most dangerous part of this fatal mistake is when it leads to neglecting the most important care of all: medical consultation. Some men may notice a slight improvement in symptoms by adding walnuts to their diet, and, with that, decide to postpone or cancel their appointment with the urologist, thinking they've solved the problem. This is extremely risky. Symptom improvement does not negate the need for professional diagnosis to rule out more serious conditions, such as prostate cancer. Correcting this fatal mistake means broadening our view. It's not just about what we add, but what else we can do to create an environment where our prostate can thrive and our overall health can flourish. Overcoming the mistake of nutritional isolationism means adopting a holistic approach, building a true protective shield for your prostate. The walnut is a fundamental piece of this shield, but it needs to be reinforced by other layers of defense. The first layer is your diet as a whole. In addition to walnuts, include other protective foods. Lycopene, a powerful antioxidant found abundantly in cooked tomatoes and tomato sauce, has been extensively studied for its prostate benefits. Green tea, rich in catechins, has also shown anti-inflammatory and protective properties. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines provide even more omega-3, complementing the work of walnuts. At the same time, actively reduce the enemies of your prostate: sugar, refined flours, and processed foods that fuel inflammation. The second layer is movement. A sedentary lifestyle is a disaster for prostate health. Lack of physical activity impairs blood circulation in the pelvic region and contributes to weight gain, which in itself is a risk factor for BPH. You don't need to become an elite athlete. Daily 30-minute walks make a monumental difference. Exercise helps control weight, improves hormonal balance, and has a natural anti-inflammatory effect. The third layer is smart hydration. Drinking plenty of water is crucial for urinary health, but timing is important. Try to concentrate most of your fluid intake during the day and reduce it in the 2 to 3 hours before bedtime to minimize nighttime trips to the bathroom. And the most important layer, the one that unites all the others, is regular medical follow-up. Your urologist is the commander of your health strategy. Routine checkups such as PSA, prostate-specific antigen tests, and digital rectal exams are irreplaceable for monitoring prostate health and detecting any problems in their early stages. Putting all these pieces together, the walnut, diet, exercise, and above all professional guidance, is the true path to lasting prostate health. And this brings us to the most important conclusion of all. We've reached the end of our journey, and the main message is clear. Nature offers us incredible tools to support our health, and the walnut is undoubtedly one of the most potent when it comes to the prostate. Its synergistic combination of anti-inflammatory omega-3, protective antioxidants, and hormone-modulating phytosterols is a testament to the power of evidence-based nutrition. The promise of shrink your prostate with 1 walnut a day is not a fantasy, but rather a reflection of a real biological potential that can contribute to the relief of BPH symptoms and long-term prostate health protection. However, the true knowledge I hope you take away from this video is the understanding of the fatal mistake. The power of the walnut is unleashed not when it's seen as an isolated miracle cure, but when it's integrated as part of a conscious and healthy lifestyle. The true power lies in combining nature's wisdom with personal responsibility and the guidance of medical science. Before we conclude, it is my duty and responsibility to reinforce the following. This video and the information contained within are for strictly educational and informational purposes. Nothing said here should be interpreted as medical advice or replace the consultation, diagnosis, or treatment provided by a qualified healthcare professional. Always, without exception, consult your doctor or urologist before making any significant changes to your diet, starting the use of supplements, or changing your routine, especially if you have a pre-existing health condition or are taking medications. You have the power to make informed and proactive decisions for your health. Use knowledge as your tool, consistency as your strength, and your doctor as your greatest ally. If this video has helped you better understand prostate health and see beyond simplistic hacks, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Every week, we bring cutting-edge science in a clear and practical way so you can live a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life. Take care, and we'll see you in the next video.